Welcome to this explainer. Okay, I want you to just imagine for a second that you are floating out in the deep, dark expanse of space. All around you, stretching out for billions of light years, there's this vast, swirling tapestry. Literally billions of stars, massive galaxies, endless cosmic dust. It's breathtaking, right? It's infinite. And against that colossal backdrop, it's so incredibly easy to look at our little blue planet and look at ourselves and just feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the whole thing. So I want you to really ask yourself right now, how important are you? I mean, when you look up at the night sky and you realize you're just one out of 8 billion people living on a tiny rock orbiting a totally average star, does that massive scale make you feel, well, kind of small, unimportant? It's the most natural reaction in the world. We almost always equate physical size with significance. But what if that entire assumption is totally backwards? Okay, let's dive into this because we are going to completely dismantle that feeling of insignificance today. To figure out why we get this so wrong, we really have to first validate the physical reality. On one side, obviously, we have the vast universe. We are talking about dimensions that literally break human imagination. Think about it like this. There are actually more stars in the observable universe than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth. Let that sink in. And most of that space, it's just freezing, empty vacuum. Then, on the other side, the tiny human. In purely physical terms, compared to a galaxy, you are less than a microscopic speck. If significance is just a game of volume and mass, well, we lose, utterly and completely. We're statistically zero. But here's the thing. Physics is only half the story. Now, let's look at this really profound pivot. This brings us to a foundational idea from the scholar Bediüzzaman in a text known as the 10th Word, which essentially forces us to look at our existence from a completely different paradigm. He writes, "Do not think that this tiny human lacks importance. They are like a foreman and a messenger among all beings." I absolutely love this quote. It completely shifts us away from being these passive, microscopic victims of a giant universe and instead positions us as active, vital participants. Think about it. A foreman isn't necessarily the biggest person on a massive construction site, right? But the foreman is the one holding the blueprint. The foreman actually understands the grand design. And that brings us to humanity's true role. We are not mere observers. We aren't just sitting in the audience of the universe, passively watching the stars go by. The source text points out that humanity actually possesses a comprehensive creation characteristic. What does that mean exactly? Basically, it means you have a built-in capacity that actually mirrors the complexity of the universe itself. You are uniquely wired to interact with it, to process it. And with that unique wiring comes this immense, truly profound responsibility. And this brilliantly illustrates how the source text breaks down our interaction with the cosmos into 3 specific, profound roles. First, humanity understands the universe. The cosmos is full of physical laws, sure, but it's the human mind that actually decodes them. Second, we give the universe meaning. Without a conscious observer to actually appreciate the beauty of a nebula or figure out the mechanics of a black hole, it's all just raw, blind physics happening in the dark. We bring the meaning. And third, we think on behalf of the universe. We are literally the cosmos becoming aware of itself. We represent it. We speak for it. That is a massive job description for what we previously called a microscopic physical speck. So the crucial point is this concept right here, inverted greatness. We have to completely flip our metric for what makes something important. We need to stop measuring importance by physical size, by tons of gas or millions of miles of empty space, and we have to start measuring it by the capacity for consciousness and responsibility. This is really the intellectual climax of our whole journey in this explainer today. Greatness isn't about how much space you take up. It is entirely about how much of reality you can actually hold in your mind. Let's juxtapose these 2 realities to really drive this home. On one side, you have a giant, unthinking star. It might be 1,000,000 times the size of our Earth. It's burning with the power of 1 billion atomic bombs, but it doesn't know it's a star. It has absolutely no awareness of its own heat or its own light. Now, on the other side, look at a tiny, conscious human brain. It's just 3 pounds of wet tissue. It fits right into your 2 hands. Physically, it's literally nothing compared to the star. But functionally, it is everything. Because think about what that 3-pound brain can actually do. Step 1, it can look up into the night sky and understand the star. Step 2, it can mathematically measure the star, figure out its distance, its chemical makeup, its total lifespan. Step 3, it can theorize about the star's origin and even predict its ultimate death. This is the most profound irony of existence. The physically smaller container, your brain, can actually encompass the massive star by comprehending it. The star cannot comprehend you, not at all, but you can mentally hold the star. That is inverted greatness in action. The source material anchors this whole philosophical journey in a deeply rooted theological concept. The Quran elegantly frames this perspective in Surah Al-Isra, stating simply and powerfully, "And we have certainly honored the children of Adam." Now, this verse is used in the text to explore the idea that humanity really isn't just some accident on the fringes of an indifferent galaxy. Rather, we hold an intentional, highly honored status in the grand design of creation. From this viewpoint, we were quite literally built to be the consciousness of the cosmos. So I'm going to leave you with this final choice to think about. Are you just a tiny speck, a statistical rounding error in a cold, massive universe? Or are you a being with a deeply special responsibility, acting as the very mind, the meaning, and the foreman of the cosmos? Because whichever paradigm you choose, it's going to completely dictate how you walk through the world tomorrow. Just think about how embracing your own inverted greatness could change your life, the way you treat others, and the way you view your own limitless potential. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep looking up at the stars for sure, but more importantly, realize the incredible universe-encompassing power of the mind that's looking right back at them.